I wasn't. Good evening. I've just been overwhelmed lately. Too many lights are on. Just overwhelmed by everything that is going on, and I have to go over to Facebook, see if anybody came onto the channel here, just to make sure somebody's on. If nobody's on live, there's a lot of stuff going on tonight. Just trying to see if my channel is open. Just give me 1 second. Okay, no. Here's Mr. Tagpans, right? Okay. Right. Okay. Okay, so this is good. So this is just going to be a test video. I'm just testing things. We're down today. Couldn't get it done. Also checking to see how long before Facebook lets me speak. Took 11 seconds to do the streaming into Facebook. So that's just a test. What I wanted to do tonight was about the zodiac. For those who do not know me, what I do is I bring life. I give form to the skeleton of what you might see as just a baseball. I see as a story. I don't see it 4 balls and 3 strikes as 7. I see the action pitches on 6. 3 balls, 2 strikes. The next pitch will count. It'll be the 6th pitch. Everything happens on the 6th pitch, the action pitch. If it's a ball and there were 12 balls before, then we get a rotation. 1 run comes in. In 3 years and 1 year is the leap year. Always about number 4. The 4th one is on the other side. It is a complete 180-degree turnaround, because we all know that 360 puts me right back where I am. So if creation is 360, it puts us back where we are. I just wanted to say something that, have you ever seen this? See the way 1 is up and 1 is down? That's the way it all goes. When you twist a belt, if you put power into a belt and you twist the belt, what power will go down here will turn like this over here, because the belt has been twisted, and then come around this way, and then twisted this way. Can't explain exactly. I just see it, and it's worked. It's worked in one of my visions. The house of Venus. It is just too ironic. And this is for me, because don't forget, everything I'm doing right now is for me. Because if I can get this right for me, and if it logically, rationally makes sense, and there is a conduct or an equation that can be created to recreate the same numeric value, what story goes along with the reality? Because there is a math equation from which I will speak, and it is all about the Venus house, where we are right now, 18-wheeler. In the Venus house, it is 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, okay, 20, 22, 24. So do you see what happened? We did, just 1 second, my cat is on the balcony, and this is the Venus house. Now, when I call these numbers out, right? Really and truthfully, this is the house of life. V is for life, okay? Life and IE. What is IE? Is it something to do with the flow? Is it a dash and a dot? Should we look at it as Morse code? Should we ask where it comes from? The singular letter to create it is right here. This is the numeric value for the sun. The Son of Man. The question is, do we add up to 6 equals to 21? The reverse of 21 is 6. The 21 is U, but the maximum we can go to, okay, is 5. These are the two sides, the polars. They will meet in the center at 3.5. That is the meeting place. Well, actually, that is the separation between the two. So if it had a hole of its own, it would actually be 3.4, right? Dot, dot, dot over to 3.4, right? You'd go 1 plus 2.4, and then you go 6 minus 2.4. Right. Let me try and see. So that would be 3.4 to this side and 3.4 to that side. Is that right? Let me see. 2.4 minus 6 equals 6 and equals 3, 6. Well, it's actually, it's 3, 4. It's like 3, 6, but it's not. Let me explain it to you, that if I put a 1 on this side and a 1 on this side, they'd both meet at 3, 4. Okay, there's a separation of in the center over here. Okay, because the center is opened up. Okay, so I used 1 back and then 1 back, so there's 1 and 1 to the center. So if we would add this up, then it would be like 35 and 35, 34 and 1 and 34 and 1. Okay, so, and this is 600 and take away 71, and you have 590, 589. I think that's what the number is. 599. No, 590. 594. 594 and 71. No, 595. 6, 9, and 7 is 16 and 1. Right. So that's what it is. That's what it is. Okay. And this is E, I, E. Now, why I said it comes from the end sun. This is your DNA. Your end sun is your DNA because it brings both together. I'm sorry. It brings both together, number 1 and 4. Now I have to ask myself a question. You know, I look for the equation. Okay, I have the equation. I know where I got it from. What does it mean when the 1 and the 4 came together in 14? Okay, well, what happened is you went from number 5 and you moved up one whole face. 9 is a face. Where's 9 is a face? These numbers here. There's a face of 9. The 0, the dot, the pound key, the star key, that's part of the connection, separation and connection. So the next row over here is just going to be a reflective of the continuous rolling. So I hope I got to explain this right. And the ironicness, can I say ironic, is that, and don't forget, I tried to work with, I just want to round back because sometimes it's very hard for me to follow the river and explain how I know why I think I know. I show you where it comes from or where it possibly comes from. Maybe it's not real, but it is real. It's real because it happens mathematically, and they've created odds and games for the truth. And many, many, many games use the same dice as this. And it is the story it tells of what it is. It's either an empty space or a dot. And this is the face of your calculator. This is the face of the ATM. This is the face of your cell phone, your push button phone. But when it comes to your rotary dial, things start to say something different. When it comes to the equal sign and the addition sign, you start to question, should you be adding the individuals together? Remember, there is no child without the male and the female. So should I put 5 and 2 together to create that gateway? I have to plug my phone. It made a noise. These magical cubes, things that we should talk about, things we should be aware about, things that we shouldn't forget. Don't eat pork. What is your P.O. box? RK in pork is our birth. 18th letter and 11th letter, or number 29. 2 times 9, 2 plus 9. 18 and 11. 11 is the creation of the heaven spirit according to the cubes of the 9 face. 9 meaning new. 9 giving directions around the core, around the pole, knowing that the ring is number 14 around the cube, because when you add the numbers around the cube, it is 14. Knowing the pole, okay, is the 7. Your fingers are the poles that hold the rings. It is not I that creates this story, but the dice cube that somebody created that they use in the casinos all around the world, but they don't tell you the magical story that it actually is. Describing what is the skeleton of the Word of God. We need to understand how to create the equations of 365.25 days, yet the swastika, if I had that, my calculator here, I have to pop up this calculator. See, when you look at the calculator, let me make that a little bit bigger. Hold on a second. Can I take you think I can get a picture of this? No, I can't, eh? So if you take a look, right, just go from here to here to here to here to here, this. I got to draw this. Let's go to paint. Hold on a second. Let's go to paint. You do know the Canadian flag is 3 chickens, right? So we're going to go and paint. I'm going to just clear this away. I'm going to put some black in the picture, get rid of this and some of this. And here, let me create some of this now. So I'm going to, whoop, that's not good. I don't want it filled, no fill. Okay. So we're going to just do a calculator over here, right? And I'm just going to write in the numbers. 1, 2. I have to go and move this camera. I have to see that you can see this. I want to show you what I'm doing here. Okay, let me see. Hold on. Okay, so let me bring this back up. Let me make this down here. So we got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Now you're going to have to give me a second. I have to remember what I was actually doing. There's a reason for me doing this, and I don't remember what it was. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. 7 months. First of all, the numeric value of movement from corner to corner is 6, 2, 6, 2, 6, 2. It is 1, 4, 1, 9. From here to here to here. The 9 is the birth. There are 9 areas. The next area that you would create is only going to repeat the first area. So when we come back to create a pen, you're going to have to give me a second. It goes 1, 2, 3 over here. And once that happens, we eliminate this first row. Everything goes by 3s. And you're always going to add everything to 6. 1, 2, 3 equals to 6. 4, 5, 6 equals to 15. 7, 8, 9 equals to 24. 6, 6, 6, 3, 3, 3. And that all has to do with creation. Divide any one of these numbers here, and your remainder will be 0.333. Divide any of these, and your remainder is 0.666. It all comes together in the clue fox, the nail fox. 3, 3, 3. This is going to create 355 over here. 355. The 55 over here is your freedom, L and U, from 12 to 21. Just give me a second. I have to get something to drink. I'm thirsty. And I do want to tell you that I started something in my mind with the letter N. There was another reason I wrote this down. So I need a minute of silence for myself to try and remember where I stood with my explanation. Why did I create the calculator? Where if you look at 4, 5, and 6, I'm going to go get a drink. I'm just going to tell you some small stuff. 4, 5, and 6. Okay, that is the word that will come out for that will be federation. Okay, it'll come out federation on number 3 as well, but as the 3 letters on the telephone come to number 3. Just take in regard that the first 2 rows added up will equal to the third row. 1 and 2, 1 and 5, or 1 and 8 will equal to 3, 6, and 9. 4 and 2, 4 and 5 will equal to 6 and 9. 4 and 8 is 12. 1 and 2 is 3. Also, the representation of the ring and the pole, they both equal to 48. As Pluto, as it creates the division, number 84, of day and night, area, space, teen. Number 13, just to let you know, you see, again, I keep losing it because I want to explain it, and I can't do that. I got to keep on with the road. Wow, I did it twice, and that's why I couldn't start earlier. I kept breaking up. Just let me get a drink of water, and I'm going to come back. Okay, let's see if I can calculate where I was again. You know, there's just so much going on when it's with the numbers. It's, you know, you can see the continuation. I was talking about the dice cube. I was talking about EIO. I wanted to talk about the zodiac, the Chinese zodiac, and the importance, the greatest importance, right? Never to forget, right? They don't want us to eat the pig. The pig has a split hoof. Right away, I know it's a split hoof. I can get a positive and a negative. I get a positive and negative. I get a black and a red. I get a black and a red. I can look at, I can be in the black and be in the red, meaning I'm low on cash. So if I'm low on cash, would I be low on a dollar sign? Because one of the dollar signs will create either Earth or Mars. So it's either one or two. If it's one line, it's Mars. If it's two lines, it's Earth. But that's questionable because we have to look at the artwork and say, can we say it's Mars being of this design? Meaning that Mars is the unicorn and Earth is the bull. And the reason for this is because of how I depicted the artwork. And it's pretty simple. It's been around for as long as I know. I didn't know anything different. If you'd like, I can show it to you. It's very simple artwork. Everybody's seen this before. Where does it come from? The numeric value for Mars, okay, is 51. The numeric value for Earth, okay, is 52. The reverse alphabet is 57. The reverse alphabet is, I think this was 83. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 by 135, 130. Whoop, yeah, that's right. It's 83. And this can be depicted as 16, and this can be depicted as 25, 77. And the reason for this is because the interior of this cube, which goes towards the 9 face, right, where the single dot is in the area position of number 5, Mars. Make a strike right down the center. Or should I be making a strike this way? You see, by making a strike on an angle, for the longest time, I've been depicting Mars as this, with a single stripe down the center. The unicorn. Unicorn. So can that say unicorn universe? A lot of niblets plugged into the same wand, meaning one. Or how about Earth? You see, I had to create 1, 2, 3, 4 areas, but if I did it this way, okay, I automatically show the passing lines. According to the history with stories in creation, Moses was an architect working for cities, or building the cities, and pharaohing the land, or working for Pharaoh. So when you do it this way, I got to reach the corners. I can't stop in the middle. I got to reach the corners. Otherwise, I got to stop here or here. The other way, I wasn't obligated to enclose this. This will create the same effect with the unicorn here telling me this will be number 22. This will create this effect in artwork, okay, in which this is number 18 in the center, which is, I'm not going to say within Jupiter is Mercury, in the heavens of Neptune, or the waters of Neptune, or the passing through the heavens of Neptune. Number 81, Mother Venus. When Mother Venus gets to her fifth, right? Her fifth B. When she gets 5B, 5B, the honeycomb. When she gets over here, she becomes number 1. She goes into the 5th position. So you see what happens to Venus? She shifts right over here. And this becomes Venus. But when Alpha runs in the house, okay, When alpha runs in the house, okay, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. What happens over here? It doesn't change until you get to over here. This is still odd. And then you go over here, 11. You see over here is an even number. The first, you see, it goes odd, even, odd, even, odd, even, odd, even, odd. Here we go 1, 2, 3, 4. And in the fifth one, Venus becomes odd, odd. This number can be recreated in the star system as well as this number. In fact, in star system math, this is the first number created that will create this number. 1 times 1, 1 plus 1 will create 1 and 2, 3. 1 times 2, 1 plus 2 will create 3 and 5. 1 times 3, 1 plus 3 will create 3 and 4, 7. Now 1 times 4, 1 plus 4 will create 5 and 4, 9. So how in the world do we create the next number 2? I have to remember how that sequence goes. But anyways, that's for that. Now, this is number 14. It stands for your DNA. It stands for number 29, your birth, your sun birth. And it is the fox pass, the word we just went over here. It is the fox pass because the total of this, okay, is 45. But you're either going to use these two, or you're going to use these two, or you're going to use these two. They're equations. 3 of them will tell you what you can build from. I'm going to give you the elements to build from, but you don't throw all the wires together. I got 3 comments. Let me see. I have to go back and look. Robin, rent. Robin, rent. The blending, not bending. Blending. How come it doesn't let me see it? I don't like, you know what? It covers the last one, eh? Oh, hold on a second. Maybe it's me. Hey, Pluto, haha, you the man. I'm telling you, when I'm on, I'm on. But I'm not too on tonight because I don't remember where I'm going. So here was Mars, reverse is Heinz, which is the runner of the polarity. We did what was, okay, so we're going to go back to what is Earth. And since we can create this, Earth becomes 33 rotation to what is 22. So I did a design the day to what is Earth. And the connection of that design is right over here. Here's your 22. Here's your 33. The reason the bottom is smaller than the top. I'm going 218, 218, 218, 654. But the reverse cube of 8 is 6. We're going to keep these 2. We're just going to change this one because the changing of this one will create a 6 within the light we are through the moon. 216, 216, 648. The inverted gives us the total number of what is seconds in the day. In the house of Venus, through the Neptune gates, the heavens of the Neptune gates, the waters. Let me see where I was. So yeah, so I'm just going to go over real quick. I'm a little tired, 11:30. Rat, number 39, can also be represented inside of Saturn, the Saturn sun. The ox, the same thing, also representation of 10, also representation of angels, also representation of win, a big red sun, also known as the initials to BG, which is build G8. So how would you say G8? You see the 18-wheelers have 2 to the steering, then they got 8 to the drives, and then they got 8 to the trailers, equaling to 18. But if you think about it, 72 times 4 equals to 288. So that's a 4 basic cycle. So why shouldn't I go higher than 72? Well, creation is 69. And apparently standard creation of ABC will begin my count from 3, okay, over to 69. And then I'll add on the 3. Okay, sorry, we start at 4. 3 is the end. No, we have to go back to the beginning. So we add on to 3 and we come over to number 72. This is the Venus Gateway, which is right over here, number 72. But the game is only played into 37, right over here. Do you follow why? Because okay, okay, you can have flour and you can have water and you can have a stove and you got a lot of flour, but you don't throw the whole bag of flour in to make the dough. You have to have a recipe. Okay, so here's the ingredients in your recipe. 1 and 2 gets thrown out of the game and 5 and 6 takes over. This is where they call it the Yo-11. Yo-11, 3 on one side and 11 on the other side, 3 and 11. It is an exact rotation of the 8 heaven, and it plays into the game of the stars and stripes, the game of pool. Stripes and solids, stars and stripes, same thing. Star solid, stripe is the light. The stripe you see from the star is the light you see from the star. Poetic. God gave all of us to us in a beautiful game in the harmonicy of what's going on. And when you listen to music, if you listen to certain musics, you know, they got that na 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 na, that always that tenseness, two sides, one trying to control the other. The teacher, the polar ice man, who walks in where, does what. I'm way off course. Let me get back to what I was talking about. The 288, where that came from, is how the truck is set up. Knowing that with the 8, okay, with the second 8, there's something that everybody seems to forget. There's a 1 with that 8. So not only do we have the cycle of the moon, okay, but we also have the hookup to the moon, because this is what they call the fifth wheel. What's going on right now is so ironically incredible in this world that the numbers can either depict, or I make this crap up and I'm trying to sway you into believing what I say. But you do have to know one thing. The reality is there's 2 to the drives. There's 2 to the steering. There's 2 to the steering. There's 8 to the tandem drives, and then there's 8 to the trailer tandems, or whatever you want to call them. And this is that what they call the fifth wheel, or the pin? So the pin is hooked up to what is 8, 18, and 28. It's just, they have to go together. That is your creation gate. 1 and 2 is 3. It becomes 18, 28. This becomes your 37. This is your gate. Your 88. This is, if anybody knows about the star system, you must look at NGC 7286. NGC 7286. Okay, you must go to Pegasus and study heavily. Know everything about Pegasus. Very important. The horse also describes Yo, the student, coming into creation. Okay, the day of creation. This is your Fibonacci beginning. Your 6 and 5. This will create that. Well, what if I do star system math and it becomes this and this? Well, that's how I got that. This created that. There's other ways to create this. You can create this also by number 37. 37 and 37 will create 65 if you understand how to do star system math. If I double this up, 3 and 3 is 6,
7 and 7 is 14. 1 and 4 is 5. When two sevens come together, so does the Christ, so does matter come together, and so does creation. The 360 creation, the half-life. The 360 creation, and it's called a half-life. It's not even a half-life because you have to multiply it by 4 to create 1440, okay, which are the minutes in a day. But you have to do that 3 times in order to get 432, which is your vibration to run the day. And in the next part, on the 4th one, we turn it into 5760, and this is what starts everything over in 2.0. And it happens every single so often, and I'm going to explain it to you, that this is on the 4th day, and that this happened in the year 2000. So in a short cycle, it's on the 4th day of 4 times 1440 minutes. But in the long cycle, it becomes 5,760 years, equaling to the Gregorian calendar of the great 2000 reset. So the other thing is this will represent the moon. This will represent the half-life because of the inverted, how you started with the cube, 1 on one side, 6 on the other. You cannot go both ways. So what you do is you go 1 over to 5 and 2 over to 6. 1 and 5, okay, equals to 15. This equals to 21. This equals to 20. The totality equals to 21. So this will be the U, and the F would be the reverse. This would be the O, and the L would be the reverse, and it would say foul. Since I counted to 5, 5 is E, 6 is F, 21 is U, 15 is O, O-E-U-F. In French says egg, and foul says chicken. And this is how the beginning of this dice cube works. So if you think I'm nuts, you go call the guy that made this thing and the person that set up the alphabet, because we've only just begun. So now if you're thinking of foul, you might want to think of a foul ball. I don't know. Right now, the total of this situation is 35. How is that possible? 1 to 2, 3, yeah, 35. Right. Right, 35. That's the total. That's our creation, is a juncture between these two worlds. So where is this one going to meet? Here we'll meet at 4, and here we'll meet at 3.5. It took 2.5. No, this is not where we're going to meet. We're going to meet at 3. We're going to meet at 3 and 4. Remember I always said 3 and 4? It's all about 3 and 4. It's all about DC. It's all about 7, 7, 7 equals CDC. It's all about 7, 7, 7 equals U. CDCU. 3, 4, 3, 3. Rotation of DC, the delta angle. Do you know what happens when AI comes together? When AI comes together, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Here's where AI is. Right here. It divides up what was over here. Now you have one ace on one side, what it looks like. I'm going to need some water. You're going to have like, and then you got this inside runner over here. See the way it is? If you take a close look, okay, it's a pyramid. This is a pyramid. Anything that's got angle, it's got distance, or it's a pyramid. So how high should I have made this eye? Should I have put 1A? Should I have created? And then do I create my other? Now, what would happen if I connect them together? right? Like if I go deep, right, and forget about going all the way up here. What if I didn't go up there? You know, I got on 2 heaters underneath me. What if I just went from here all the way to here and I created my eye that way? Or what if it was and I have one here and I have one here and I create my eye this way, like above is below. So here's my I and here's my H. Now I got to just create a little bit more of a design. And at the same time, if you take a look, right, it creates the hexagon, and in the deck of cards, the hats of the jack actually create that. Now we got sort of like a rocket ship. You're going to have to give me a minute. I'm hot. I got to turn off this heater. I got to get a drink. Maybe you can look at my ceiling. Maybe you want to look at the floor for those who've never been here before. Wow, with a hazmat. Holy shit. I drove truck for 25, 30 years myself. Very cool, man. The greatest thing in the world. Just give me a minute. I'm very happy my cat is quiet tonight. So you saw what happened in that design. I'm going to try and get back to the Zodiac. I'm a little bit off. It's a little bit late. I wanted to start. I got carried away looking at something what I deemed to be the most important thing I've ever seen in history. One of the reasons I've been doing this project is because of what's going on today. This was my vision. If you notice down at the bottom of my videos, not the ones I'm doing here, but if you go back some videos, I'm always mentioning the year 5781, which is Moon Venus angels. And 81 comes from the combination of what is 26. And what is 26 is our numbers. Our numbers are 26. From 1 to 7 is 6, 6, 2, 6, 2, 6, 2, 6, 2. And Queen Romano, okay, is also Romano equaling to, hold on a second. Okay, I was doing this here. But check this out. Check this out what the numbers do here. Queen is number 62. Romano's number 62. 62, 62, 88. It's exactly on the color purple. It is exactly on what are we going to do next? Pegasus. Constellation NGC 7286. So now we got Pegasus, number 88. 88 is the 7th gate. I just picked up tonight another 88 is the setup of the wheels of the truck, which is 288, which is 4 times 72. So it makes a lot of sense now. What happened is on the letter Z of the telephone, there is Z, Y, X, and W. 23, 24, 25, 26. 23, 24, 25, 26. 26 and 23 is 49, so it's 49, 49. There's a total of 98. But when it comes to legal tender, and 98 is a fabrication of Venus, but you cannot have the heaven here and there because the heaven is everything. You live within it, so you are a part of. It's an add-on. Earth is an add-on to 288. What they did
is they removed and reset numbers. They removed the Z from the number 9 on the telephone, and they plastered it on the number 1 of the ATM. (33) rotation of 1, or division of 1. 1 is not the same as everything else. I don't even like to add 1 to anything, because 1 divides everything up, or 1 becomes part of something else. If I put 4 parts of a cut moon together, I will create a whole center that on the outside will be the yoke, and on the inside will either be the fixed core, or it'll be the passage of something and the core. So I was on to what happens to the Z. So once they remove the Z from the number 9, okay, the total value was 98. The Z is 26. You end up with 72, giving a true value. And at the same time, it's ironic that they removed the Q from the 7 number on your telephone, and they also put it on the number 1. Do you know that the Q is the 17th letter? In roulette, it's a payout in between 2 numbers. The 53 or 35 reverse is by putting it directly onto a number. Electric company. 1 times 1, 1 plus 1. 1 times equals 2 and 1. 2 times 1, 2 plus 1. And it becomes your standard creation. 1 times 1, 1 plus 1. How did you get 1 and 1? You got 1 and 1 by when you ended the game at 6 and 5. 6 and 5, 11. You're using 2 cubes, making 1 and 1 on each side. If we want to look at it that way, would you like to look at it this way? There's many ways to do it. We can also call this 55 if you want, but now we'd be talking about position. So if I said 55p, you would know my position is 1 dot 1 dot. You would know my reversal is 66. And you would know that it is in the I, and you have altered through the center circuitry because you have transferred yourself from routing the 18-wheelers that used to run from town to town across the US of A, that now everybody jumps on and off the on and on ramps and the roundabouts on the 495s and the 395s and going all the way around on the interstate highway 80. Replace 66. And when you go over to gematria and you create what are the ribs 2, 4, 6, what happens to 8? Well, when you're within the realm of the 7th gate and you're entrapped within a gate, you now have to go down into hell. Why it is hell? Because if its creation is of those letters, 1 times 2, 1 plus 2, equals 3 and 2, 5. When you have 55, your freedom 55, to the numeric value for freedom is 66. The thing is that 6 is a rib to where it connects 5 and 7, that is through the moon, okay, on the peak of the pyramid. Knowing what your numbered pyramids are, Giza is Mars and Pluto coming together. We bring ABC is gone. Everything starts with Mars with the delta angle by splitting A between 2 sides, because A is actually DC. DC is the smallest number that's where the E world is created, because you cannot split 3 and 4 actually without using up part of 3 and 4, because the center of this is 3.5. The separation between 3 and 4 is 1, so you can only meet at 55. I don't have all the math with me, I don't remember it all, but the center of the roulette table is 111. Okay, when you crisscross the numbers, it's 37, 37, 37, where 74 or 40, 74, also noted to be time of energy, Jesus on the cross, cycle of 28, and creation of 11. To not withstanding, 6 times 5 was 30, to creation of day. Remember the 0? Well, that 0 is a reflection, okay, of the one spirit that is represented in Jupiter, which is more or less, let's say, 5D. And I say 5D because D ends up coming out where the T is. How can I explain it? 5 times 4 is 20, which is also the gateway. I have to look into that a little bit more, but that's the moon. So where when 74 will create the numeric value for what is the word man. There are other words I'm on this Germinator here, Gematrinator, and I sent a message to the boys, or the boys and women who made this, and I wanted to add on some stuff to this that we can do some more star system math so that AI can work with us and tell us a story a little bit quicker, like maybe into the past. And the more we can go into the past, the more we have a chance of going into the future. It's more concrete what has been created in the past. Atlanta bypass is hell. Alan Watts talks a lot about Z. But you know, if I want to look at Z, right, ED is part of the sun, and it is part of the gateway. And the reason for that, it's the 4th and the 5th letter. And to create it, it takes the letter N, and the letter N shows a crossing. And you don't go anywhere with the letter N that you do not go with its twin, which is the Z. So the total is 40. So the Z, being the 26th letter, also represents the dog. There's 3 letters to it, so it's also representing Venus. It's also representing the 5th house of Jupiter, okay, where the one spirit of light resides. It seems like everything might be held up in Jupiter and Saturn, the 2 wheels. But I'm just throwing things around now. Remember, around this cube is 14. When you have 2 of them, you have 28. So you're running by the cycle of 28, 77. 77 is the Christ. If I count 1 at a time or 2 at a time. When I count 2 at a time, I'm going to talk about Mars. When I count 1 at a time, I'm going to talk about Earth. So I need to know more numbers. A lot of work to do. 88. Purple. Red and blue create purple. Red is 27. Reverse alphabet 1 through 26. And at the same time, your 13 and 14 will come together. So when 13 and 14 come together, you have 13 times 27. 27 times 13, which is 81,072, 351. And that is the total of your alphabet. Ace. Venus, 81, and red sun, Venus, red sun. The 0, in one of my pieces of art today, what I liked about 0 and 7 is that if I took number 7, or if I wanted to say 70, right, I wouldn't say it. I'll just put the 0 over here. Or I'll put my 7 upside down, right? And I'll put my 0 over here. So I have 70 and 70. One where it's below, one where it's above. This is my rotation of 69. I mean, usually I put them together, but I'm just showing you right now. So what should have been 6 and 9 looks like it was created from 7007. So there's a whole question about that. I did this over here showing you DC. This over here is a 777 representation, U and the cube, where life is in 21. The reason for that, when you add up all the way to U, it equals to 231. Okay, instead of ABC, which is 1, 2, 3, you now have 231. So you have 3, 5, and 4.
electric company and the delta angle. I'm never sure which way to look at it, but this is your standard creation. The total here is 15 times 4 equals to 60, and 12 equals to 72. And why I'm talking about that is because the 7 key will have the PQRS equaling to 70. And the 9 will have WXYZ equaling to 98. The Z and the Q get removed. This gets reduced to 72. This gets reduced to 53. Now, when this happens, the Q17 and the Z26, both representing 88. Remember, it's purple. Remember, it's Pegasus. And also know 8 and 9 are the same house numbers. And this is how pi is created through these numbers. 5 times 3, 15. 5 plus 3, 8 equals 23. 7 times 2, 14. 7 plus 2 equals to 9 equals to 23. Pi is 3.14159265. 6, 5, 29, 29, 14, and 15. All the numbers right over here. This is the standing house of Venus. The reason it's the standing house of Venus, because to create it, this was first, and it created that. I don't care which order these are in. 18-wheelers, it's all been marked in numbers, written in history, pre-recorded. So it's just all ironic that this equals to 364 and all your 7s create the year. Oh yes, now I remember what I wanted to talk about earlier on. When I brought in the this over here, I'm just going to take away some of the stuff. What I wanted to show you. Whoop, no, I want to leave that. Whoop, no, I wanted to do that. What I wanted to show you is this 365.47 days in the year. See what that does? You see that twist? That's what it'll do. So I'm just going to take it with the, can I do another color? You see that? Whoop. Now I got to do this again. Hold on a second. 365.47 days. Now we're going to go, we're going to take green, and the leftover numbers are going to be 1, 2, 5, 8, and 9. So do you see anything funny in that? 365 days, 0.47. The meeting point is what divides 5 into 4 areas. Here, we'll end up chopping up one part area. How the areas chop up by just creating these lines, but this is offset. Where should I go next? What didn't I do? So we have that 53, this. So this is what the equation is. They both equal this. It equals this. This will end up equaling to 11. I'm not really sure where I should go right now. I'm really tired. So it's been an hour. I'm going to get something to drink in the kitchen. I'm going to try and recalibrate on something. Maybe we'll go back to the Chinese zodiac. I had a whole big thing planned for this. I have the artwork somewhere. I got thousands and thousands of pieces, and I've never really documented very much. I just keep saving it. And I've gone over, the numbers are impeccable, how they're set up on this wheel into 35, 37, 39, 35 being electric company, 37 being part of the cube, because the multiplication and addition will create 21 and 10. It's going to associate the cube with what is 10, A, B, C, D. So it's the first formation of 1. 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4. Because in what I understand as basic creation is you have to do all the equations, and then you find out what happens with each equation with the 9 numbers. And then you
with numbers. I look at it in French and I listen and I look how they're spelled. And you can see differences between what they do in French and what they do in English. In French, numbers actually stop at 69. There's a whole new list or kind of numbers once you pass 69, in which what will reflect, but only partly in English and partly in French, what is 13 through 19, disregarding 10, 11, 12, because they're conscience words, in where they're not explaining what a number is, as what we're used to. It's explaining a double-digit number into what is 10, 11, and 12. In 13, you now separate your numbers. And 13, it begins where what is one of the most important numbers begin? Fourth. Because fourth, TH is the first of its kind, arrival on number 4. 12 is the last of its kind. 12 is the last of its kind. 13 becomes the first of its kind because it's the first time in English where they say teen. 12 is the last of its kind because what happens when ABC gets replaced by the delta angle number 4, because it is the first creation of the E-world gateway between DC number 3 and number 4, which is noted to be on this dice cube. And there is no in-between between 3 and 4. And the other thing about number 4, okay, what is it, number 4? Yeah, is number 4 and number 3 is really the only way to get to number 6. The 2 can't get the 6 because it's blocked by the wall. And the 5 can't get the 6 because it's blocked by the wall. So everything has to pass a different way to get to number 6. I'm going to just get a little drink. I'm going to come back. Okay. Yeah, you know what? I think I went over this really quick. When I was talking about pi, right? The beginning of pi is 3.14159265. In this equation of what happens, okay, between numbers, between the number 7 and number 9 key on your telephone, is they created this situation. This is your 9 birth to the 7th gate. Now, the thing about number 9, the thing about 1, 3, 5, and 7, the difference between 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, 10, is here's number 7. And here is number 5. So here is 5, here is 7, here is 5, here is 7. Now what happens every time you move, we're moving by 2s, right? When you move by 1, it becomes a rib. So what happens, okay, is number 9 is going to go over here. That's number 9. So this becomes EIE. And we had EIE over here. Why did we have EIE over here? 6886. That's the house, the divided house of birth between 5 and 5. Freedom. You remember I was talking about that highway freedom? Number 66, freedom. But they give you freedom in the insurance at 55. This is the house of EIEIO, 595959. That's your clock. That's how your clock runs. 59 minutes, 59 seconds. EIEIO. The pigs. It's a split house. Don't eat the ham. You got to think about everything about pork. Remember, pork is birth, number 29, RKPO box.
This is 16 and 15. In man's house, 7 and 6. In the spirit of 76, you're at the point of the pyramid. Let me just see something. I want to remember how I did this earlier on. 595. This is your crossing through center of the cube. I know that. 159 crosses through the center. 1, 5, and 9 all live in one area. 1, 5, and 9, all the one spirit of the 9 birth, all passing into the E world of Jupiter. So let me go back to, did I do this? So in order to do this, we need 12 and 14 and 13. Okay, so we need 39. So we need the angels. We need a whole bunch of things about 39. We need the ox. We need the rat. So now what we're going to do is the mathematics give me 3 and 2 equals to 5. The mathematics give me 4 and 5 equals to 9. The mathematics give me 3 and 4 equals to 7. So now we have to understand where we got the situation, what it means. This is going to refer to a bat. This is going to refer to a bar, and it's going to refer to a woman. And this is going to be a man. When 5 and 7 come together, we end up with the moon. Does it sound like I'm talking too loud? We have to be quiet for a minute. I think somebody moved in next door, and I have no idea how loud my voice is. And I'm going through some kind of heat in this building. They want me out because I don't pay enough rent. So anyways, here is from the zodiac that we did this. So what happens is number 6 will connect here and over here. Now number 8, okay, is going to connect right over here. So you have 6, 8, 6. This is capturing part of both. Now it could be larger. It might have its own space, but it doesn't. Then over here, okay, you have number 8 connecting in the 9th box. So you have 8. I mean, it gets complicated because 5 and 9 are over here and 6 and 8 are over here. But it's really funny the way 6 is inside of 8 and the spirit of 76 goes over here. So when you take a look at these two dice, the 6 and 2, 8, and then you flip it over and it's 1 and 5, 6. So you have 6 and 2 equaling to 8, and you flip it over, you got 1 and 5 equaling to 6. So here you have the Mars Queen. Then you can actually go and have 44 equals to 8, and you're going to have 33 mass. This is the house planet. This is the house planet. So this is what these dice do. Now, if I want to go, what didn't we do? 5 and 3, 8. So now we have 5 and 3, 8. Now I consider this to be this is the basic standard creation, right? And this is what's going to create the 360 degrees, because it always has to be this with the one spirit. You remember I was talking about that number 1 before? I have to try and remember what it is. I look at this as well, there's somebody going in and out. I'm not used to somebody living next door. So this, I look at this as 350 plus 10, because the game you start with A, B, C, D, and that's a 10 chip. That would be purple. And that's our $10 bill. And when it's purple, it becomes red. and blue is for the mix of the colors, and this will be hot, and this will be cold. The only missing number here will be 42. Where is 42? That's right, it's right over here, number 42. This is what it creates. Your 2 and 4 create your 5 and 3. This is your perfect match. See your matches? 2 times 4, 2 plus 4, create 8 and 6. 3 times 5, 3 plus 5, right? You don't have it. 3 times 5, 15. 3 plus 5, 8. You don't have this perfect matches 2 and 4. So what does 2 and 4? 2 and 4 is part of the Pluto system. And this creates your 350 times 4 equals 1400 plus 4 times 10 equals to 40. But you're supposed to do it as 350 times 3 is 950 plus 30 equals 980. And then you go plus 350 plus 10. It has to be done that way. That's the way it is. Tired. So we saw what happens over here. We have 7, 8, 9. What happened? What happened? 7, 8, 9. So this is over here. It becomes 7, and then after that it becomes 6, 8, 6, and then 5, 9, 5. And the same reality is happening on these dice cubes. Whatever I write down here is happening on these dice cubes. So if I mark, if you see this over here, what number will be over here? This number over here is going to give you a 4. This is going to be a 1. This is going to be your DNA, 4 and 1. Your reverse, ghost in the town, okay, is going to be 63. 63, 36. And on the opposite side, I'm talking about the void. Take your meds, my man. Can you explain that, please? What does it mean to take your meds? What does that mean? Take your meds. The middle of something. The meds, the middle of something. Do you understand how this works, Mr. Mission Control? If you can tell me a story about this, I would just love to listen to it. You can write it down. Everybody can look and explain it. Oh, look at that. We got the main men in here, Mr. Copenhagen. Or something like that. Look at the way they put that 3 backwards. So anyways, this is the point of the pyramid. I don't even remember where we are. It's pretty late at night. I'm tired. Yeah, let me finish with this. According to the what I understand about the Hebrew calendar, or the Hebrews, they follow the calendar of the moon. So by following the calendar of the moon, a woman becomes a woman at the age of 12. A man becomes a man at the age of 13. The word man equals to numeric value 28. 13 times 28, ironically, creates 364, as so does the multiplication and addition of this number will equal to this numeric value over here, the same as this. And what is ironic about that is that there are 13 cards in the deck of cards times 4 suits, equaling to 273 plus 91 equaling to 364. The 1.25 days left over in the year, it's for memory storage, RAM. I'm not really sure. GBs. Memory storage. I do it this way. Remember, creation of Venus, 3 times 27. Wow, it's pretty funny. I hear people talking in the corridor. I've never heard that before. Sounds like a family moved in next door. So let me try and continue. So where am I? So yes. So this, where this would be female and this would be male. The thing is, numbers change their sexes with movement, because the first it becomes 5, and then it becomes 1, and then it becomes 6, and then it becomes 2. 5 and 5. You see, what I do is I just keep adding 5s. 5 and 5s is 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, and that's the rotation. So when I come, so in the third house, 5 is this number over here. In the fourth house, 5 becomes its polarity. 5 becomes its polarity. In order to swing a dice, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in a row, you cannot swing a dice that way. See, if I went 1 to 2 to 3, I'd have to go 180 to get over to the 4. But if I went 1 to 3 to 2, then I can automatically just swing over to the 4. If I go 1, 3, 2. So that 1, 3, 2 or 132 means it's talking about area space, the division of day and night through Pluto, the division of the house planet. And where do I get that? I have to understand what 1 and 3 is. You create this, you end up creating the numeric value that will create the number to the moon, number 19. An analog moon, AN. Analog moon. I don't remember why I picked that up from a piece I was working on. One day, hopefully, I remember. This is equivalent to rotation and also to matter. The multiplication of this will create 16 and 8. And this is where the cube comes in, the 6 and 1 inverted cube. It creates a 7 and an 8, which is now into the pool table, 7 stripes and 8 solids. The 1, 6 tells me about a half-life because they're on the other side of each other. And anything to do with the 6 or measurement, everything stops at 4. Because if you're measuring in carpentry, you go to the corners only. This will create 24, and this will become the day and the night through the gateway right here. I'm trying to think. So in its rotation of 5, I'm just trying to think where we were. 5 and 7, the moon. The man, his bar mitzvah falls on the 169th moon. And that 169th moon For those who don't know what this is the game of Monopoly. There are 168 plus 1 area spaces in order to create the board. It is the same numeric value, 13 by 13 equals 196. Sorry. Equals 169. Okay, where 168 rotate around 1. This has to do with the trains. This area has to do with the trains. Remember, all trains own both sides of the track. So the train is over here. So it does this, 111, explaining the cube. And you can't go in all directions at the same time, but you do have to know everything you have in stock, like an inventory, things to work on. You know what? A long time ago, I was going to explain this, 365 days, 0.47, which is time Jesus on the cross. It's in the cross, and the reason he got nailed to the cross is because this number 333 is the rotation we work in. And what happens is 1 and 2 don't need to be in that game because it's all rotating from 3-6. 5-4 is the sun. 3-6 is your creation of the light. This is already your birth through the gateway of time. So besides that, how can I explain where I was with this? 3 times 6 is 18, times 5 is 90, times 4 is your 360 degrees through the 7th gate, or 360 times 7. What does that do? You have 360 degrees 7 days a week. Okay, I don't remember this number. This is going to create Q. I don't remember exactly what this does. I forget. Must be getting tired. Let me go back and see if there's anything I can add on to all of this. We're talking about this. This is your DNA sun. This creates your 5, 7, and 9. And we spoke, yes, we were speaking about the telephone. So what happens is when Q17 and Z26 creating 88, they also create 43. Again, DC. They also create 34. This will be cold. This will be hot. Hot 43, cold 34. 77 is matter. 77 is 14, the DNA sunbirth. NDA sunbirth of 9. You see what it is it's 8 and 1 passing. So this also creates the Christ. So how we get into hot and cold and Christ, the 77 and 74 time on the cross equals to 151, and the birth of the student from Mars. This is Mars. It will create 6 and 5 and 5 and 6, whichever way you want to do it, equals 121. This is the birth of the child in the E world through the sun, 11 and 30, creation of day, equaling to 41. AD, creation of the light. The reason for that is I multiply it and I add it. I call it star system math. Christ is also noted to be first because that's how it ends. That's how it begins. Anyways, a little deep into this. Very, very tired. We're going to get back, but this may be another day, or just give me 2 minutes. If you have a question, ask me a question, or give me 2 minutes to put something together. So by number 88, purple is that. Purple is red and blue. It is hot and cold. It creates warm. Warm is number 55. 55 is the passage. 55 will create, and when you create the freedom pass, freedom 55, you will create 25 and 10. 25 is Earth's heart of your wholeness. I mean, I'd like to say your wholeness coming into this world. 10, this world of 10. Two 55s come together, and 55 reverse on a cube is 22 to life, also explaining ape and the AE world. What is, for me, the AE world? What is A? A is a divided world, the electronic world, the E world. Where do we get E from? 9 and 5 is E. 8 and 6 is E. 7 and 7 is E. So now I have to understand it comes from DC, the divided gate. 7 is 7. It comes from matter and Christ. It comes from the sun birth and what is Pluto and Mars. It also creates the what mathematically fits in, number 7, to the cycle of the 13 moons, leaving over 1.25 days, in which 51, okay, is life on Mars. And
52 is what is Earth's heart, or the plug-in, because of the numeric value associated with Earth with the word Jack. I'm looking a little bit deeper into this. The number 10, the minion, why 10? 1 and 9, the spirit. 2 and 8, the cycle. 3 and 7, the creation of the gateway. And then 4 and 6. The reverse of 4 and 6 is 31, and that is creation of the cycles in the moon, of man on the moon. Because sometimes when I'm not sure of a number, 6-4 represents DC because of the mathematics. 6 plus 4, 10. 6 times 4, 24. That is going to, again, the division of the gateway in the E worlds, because the 3 and the 4, there is no halfway point. Between 3 and 4, the halfway point is being part of both of it. Because of that, the center of this is 3.5. So when you go through 3 and 4, that 0.5 is going to take up of both worlds. It's not like going from 1 over to 6, because if I went from 1 over to 6, I can stop at number 3 on one side, and I can stop at number 4 on the other side, on the inside of the numbers, and I can have a whole 1 complete. So I can have 1 and, sorry, I can go, no, I have, the meeting point is 3.5. So I can go 1 over to 3, and then I can go from 4 over to 6. So I'm going to add 2 on each side. Anyways, I don't want to get into that complicated irrelevance. We were talking about the alphabet. So when they removed the Z from number 9, it became a relevant value of 72, and they removed it, and it went on to number 1. So now I disregard it. So the total number of the alphabet of 351, when you remove the Z and the Q, number 43, you now have 308. So now I've got a situation on my hand. What is 308? I really don't want to think about it, but I think about it, and it tells me about the complete heavens of creation, because 3 and 8 are the voids of what is the 1 and 6 thought. Every side has 9 spaces, so that's 1 and 8. So 8 is missing and 3 are missing, so that becomes your 8 and 3, and that's another way of creation, because 8 and 3. Just want to go over some basics. In order to create 10, we use the basic 1 and 9, 2 and 8, 3 and 7, 4 and 6. And that's how we create that. So there's 4 types. And as you're creating, if you're going to create and pass through number 5, right, you can pass through number 5, 1, 2, 1. I mean, playing tic-tac-toe, knowing you can go 1, 2, 3, 4, making 5 values as 20. So 5 can be valued at 20, and then you can have 4 other areas of 10, equaling to a total of 40 and 20, 60. Almost sounds like tennis. I'm trying to think. Yes. So now what I do is, hey, the point of the gematria scale is 767. The Mayan talk about 7, 13, and 20. So I say to myself, hey, if I have, let me take that off for a minute. If I have 1 and 6, that's 7. So if I have that, that means this is the opposite. So 7 is the opposite of 13. And look, 13 is the opposite of 7. So you see how it is? It's set up 13 and 7 is just like above is below. So if 7 was below, 13 is above. Right? You can also go, what about 2 and 6 and 4 and 8? So what is below 2 and 6? So when you start to see the Queen Romano, or you start to see what is 2 and 6, you're going to see above what is 4 and 8, which is Pluto, which is the ring, which is explaining the pole. But look at the angle you're on, and there's a reason for it, but I'm not too sure what that reason is yet. Another thing I just wanted to mention is that if I really wanted to go ahead and create
I'm not sure if I wanted to do it this way because this way is hard. So usually I do Mars, and I do Mars this way. See, Mars only gets to have one line. So when you put it, you end up with sticking out cross. The only way this double-sided cross comes out, you see Jesus was buried, stood up between two crosses. This is the real way to put Earth and Mars. I can't even do Earth. Mars would go this way, and then maybe Earth would go down this way. I don't know. See, before I was doing it this way. Whoop. See, I was doing this. Hold on a second. And then I was pulling one string through it. But when I did it on this paper here, right? When you do it on this paper, I only get this. I'm not passing to create the dollar sign. So this one is only showing me tails. See, I got a little tail here and a little tail here, looking like 96. Do you see what I'm saying? Which way should I be creating my Earth Mars? See, Mars is created this way. When Earth is in the house, Mars takes a 45-degree angle. It shows me the fox pass to the sun. It shows me the pole, but it shows me two rings. There's like a cube above, a cube below, and one in between. It's almost like I should be putting one thing here, and then putting one thing here, and then putting one thing in between. And then maybe I should be connecting this one here with this one here. You see, I'm just trying to show you that there's our shapes and our numbers, our skeletons of what we have to do with them, because this is the world for the children. And that's anyways, that's what I do. It's getting late. Holy crap, I don't even know where I am yet. Did you know number 20 in French is valued at 72? 30 gives us the cycle of the moon. 40 shows you number 97 with the birth at the gateway, just like I was talking about. Communication is in 50, and 60 is 107, and it's part of the combination of the star system of Earth. Did you know that if I wrote the word 10 in French, okay, it would equal to 509, because these are all Roman numerals. Anyways, I'm all over the place. We're going to stop it now. There's so much to talk about. It just never ends. I got to put something that's in order. If somebody has something to say, somebody wants to ask me something, maybe I can think of something. There was absolutely nobody here on Facebook at all.
What you might see is just a baseball. I see as a... So I don't see it 4 balls with 3 strikes. That's 7. I see the action pitches on 6.
Okay, so that's going to be it for tonight. If there's any questions for next time, for those of you who don't know what I do, like I said, I find the void. I find the difference. I take a word, and you can do it on your own too, and I match it up to how many days does it take for Venus to turn around? How long is a Venus day? How long is a Venus night? What's the size of Venus? What's the size of the sun? And I don't care if it's a lie. It doesn't make a difference to me, because the numbers will tell me a new position. It'll tell me something else, and that something else will be the truth. You can't hide the truth in a chosen word, even if the word is a lie. Raphael 7286 in a constellation of Pegasus. You can write to me. If you want to help out the channel, no problem. Check it out on YouTube. I'm exhausted. I can't even think, so it's no use me wasting your time. I know there's 4 people here, and I'm going to write down my email. I'm going to write down my email. And if you want to ask me anything, go ahead, but not right now. I'm going to be going to bed, and I appreciate it. The Word of God is coming out with everything, and I feel like I'm only getting stronger. I like to call it that way because that's what they call it. And the word God, actually, because it's a Roman numeral, the D is a Roman numeral, it actually says go 500. So, and now that I said what go is, G and O coming together,
It's actually,